Hey everyone, today we're going to take a look at this 2024 Mercedes AMG GLE 63S. I've reviewed one of these before. It was a 2021 model, but the entire GLE line gets a facelift for 2024. So we're going to take a look at this facelifted example today. Overall, this is probably one of my favorite cars I've reviewed. It's definitely one of my favorite cars I've reviewed, and as a whole, it's probably one of my favorite vehicles on the road, regardless of price. It's exceptional. It uses a twin turbo 4-liter V8. It puts out 603 horsepower and 627 pounds-feet of torque. 0 to 60 comes in under 3.5 seconds. All-wheel drive, 9-speed automatic, and all that amounts to a sticker price of around $135,000. I don't actually have a window sticker for this one, so I'm just working off of research and my own estimation here based on what I was able to build on Mercedes online configurator for the 2023 GLE. But overall, expect to pay about $135,000 for one of these, and I have to wonder if it actually might be worth it. I tend to be pretty cynical about six-figure vehicles, but this one might actually be worth it. So let's do a little tour. Not a lot changes with the facelift, like very, very little changes. They can barely even call it a facelift, but I'll try to highlight some of the things that have changed, and then we'll go for a little drive. This thing shines as a physical product, and it shines as far as driving experience goes, so it's all around great. So you can tell you're looking at an AMG model based on the grille. AMGs have these vertical slats, and then regular Mercedes-Benz models have horizontal slats. They now say AMG in the grille as well. According to the press release, some things changed with the front fascia as part of this facelift, but they're not significant, that's for sure. It does get new headlights. You'll note an LED element here. Here's the key. So lock, unlock, panic, and then trunk release. So there's the amber element across the top there. There we're locking it, unlocking it. You get the picture. I think moving down the side, these are 22-inch wheels wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, and behind them are carbon ceramic brakes. They're Brembo branded. You can see it says Brembo there, and then here it says AMG carbon ceramic on this copper painted caliper, but these are a $5,500 option. They're insane. When you tap the brake pedal, you can feel just how quickly they could stop this vehicle, like in a competitive setting or just in a panic setting. But it's a little bit jarring driving around town with these brakes, because when you just press the brake pedal, the car like kind of lurches. It stops so aggressively and so quickly. But another interesting thing about them is the surface. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like a crackle finish. I'm not sure if that's the carbon or the ceramic, but these are definitely some of the most interesting brakes I've ever seen, especially on a sport utility vehicle. Another kind of weird thing, these look like center lock hubs, like what you might find on one of the lower production Porsche 911 variants, but this is actually just a cap, and behind it there are 5 regular lug nuts. And in fact, I noticed in the trunk area here, there's a little tool for removing those covers. It's way back here. No spare tire. There is a cargo cover, and then looks like a tire repair kit. But this is the little device that you use to take off these center caps. So you put it over there. It fits pretty snugly. It's just plastic. It's maybe like kind of like a nylon-y plastic, but it fits pretty snugly. And then you'd put like a wrench or a ratchet there, and then twist. You got to really get it on there. I don't think I can do it with my hands, but yeah, just kind of one more step you have to go through to change the wheels on this vehicle. Speaking of the wheels, they are offset. They are huge in the back. 325/35 ZR22. So yeah, massive wheels. You'll notice a much smaller caliper at the rear though. And I'm not sure if, maybe someone can tell me if the rear brakes are carbon ceramic as well. The design is definitely different. You'll note that they're drilled and slotted rotors. I don't notice that crackly finish though, so I'm wondering if maybe the carbon ceramic element is is limited to the front. Yeah, because I don't see Brembo branding or anything on these either. While we're in the back, we'll highlight a couple things. Power tailgate, of course, and then it has air suspension. So if you pull that, it will lower itself in the rear. I don't think it's doing it. There we go, it's flashing. There it goes. Only the rear lowers in this case, and that's just to lower the load height if you have to load something heavy or clumsy into the cargo area. Take a quick look at the badging. So it says AMG, there's your Mercedes emblem, and then GLE 63S. They only sell the 63S in the US. You can't get a regular GLE 63 anymore. The S gets you slightly more power. I can't see why you'd want just a regular GLE 63 if you're spending this kind of money. It makes sense that they'd simplify things and only offer the 63S in the US. This is a new color for 2024. It's called Twilight Blue Metallic. And then the interior color is also new for 2024, at least based on my interpretation of the press release. This is called Macchiato Beige. It's almost white. It's about as white as I'd want to go in a car interior. And then you can see it's still got black elements, and this is a suede. That's a regular leather. Why don't we climb inside the interior? This is one of the best interiors of any vehicle I've been in. You've got this one panel that encompasses both the infotainment screen and the digital gauge cluster. The infotainment screen is a touch screen, but you can also control it via this pad right here. We love to see redundant controls, especially as car interiors and infotainment systems become more and more complicated. Redundancy is really great. So we've got physical buttons, kind of, if we want them, and then we've also just got a regular old touch screen. It's easy to navigate with the trackpad. It's also easy to navigate via the touch screen. Overall, this is awesome execution on the part of Mercedes-Benz as far as infotainment goes. This infotainment system, along with like the Hyundai, Kia, Genesis infotainment system, those three companies are kind of the same company. Those, I think, are the two best on the market: Mercedes-Benz and then Hyundai, Kia, Genesis. You don't necessarily get a good infotainment system from a luxury car. It's just a coincidence that Mercedes-Benz has a really great one here, I think. The steering wheel is new for 2024. The steering wheel on the previous model year, GLE 63, was really aggressive, really thick, and this one I think is even more so. So you've kind of got 4 spokes here. The paddle shifters are even new. They're kind of a sideways U shape. You can see there's your down, there's your up, and they are a metal. They're cold to the touch when you just get in this vehicle. So they are metal. And then you've got these 2 little screens here, which are really interesting. You can adjust your drive mode here. You default to comfort, then you've got sport, sport plus, and then race. And then over here, there's even a master setting for the AMG Dynamics mode. Seems to want to revert back to pro though. Anyway, you can adjust the exhaust. So this is what Mercedes calls powerful. It's louder. And then there's your normal mode. It's much quieter. You can turn stability control off. You can change the way the transmission behaves, the suspension, lots of different settings here. And then there's also an off-road mode, although with 22-inch wheels, you'd have to be out of your mind. So you've got 2 settings here: trail, which puts you in trail mode, and then sand, which just changes things to sand. And for whatever reason, turns on the powerful setting of the exhaust. So trail, we're on regular, and then when you go into sand, it turns on powerful. Overall though, really great interior. This system is configurable. So if we go to home here, you can go between classic, there's a sport mode, there is super sport, and then other modes as well. Understated, there's a navigation-based mode, there's a driver assistance-based mode, there's an off-road mode, and then a service mode. One other really weird thing, this vehicle has a cabin fragrance system. There we go. It lives in there. It's this little canister. It is labeled AMG number 63. I guess that's a play on Chanel number 9, but it smells pretty good. It's subtle. It's kind of like new car smell mixed with familiarity. I'm not sure I'd want this though. It does smell distinct. I'm not sure I want to smell a fragrance in my car every time I use it. But either way, it's really clever, and it does kind of preserve that new car feeling. The HVAC system flows through it, or into it at least, through these vents right here. And it lives here. It's even lit up. Other things, one thing I did notice, the 2021 model I reviewed had a row of performance related buttons here. Here in this 2024, all you've got is the adjustable suspension. So they seem to have done away with some buttons right here. I'm not sure if that's an options thing or if it's something they changed for 2024, but if it's the latter, I think it's a step backwards. I really like to have redundant physical controls for all those performance features right here. But either way, you've just got adjustable suspension right here. It goes up and down. There's also a car wash mode that's kind of fun, where it puts the suspension all the way up, pulls the mirrors in, and turns off like the parking sensors and the cameras and things for when you're going through a car wash. Beyond that, ambient LED lighting, lots of different options for that. That is controlled via the comfort screen here. Massaging seats, adjustable side bolsters. So I've got them both turned all the way up so they grip you really nicely. And then colors for the ambient lighting. You've got some different choices like Malibu Sunset, Miami Rose, Ocean Blue, Burning Blue, Venice Pink, and then monochrome as well. I like kind of the fluorescent blue purple. That really stands out. Let's check out the back seat really quickly. There's a lot of space back here. I know it's kind of dark. Let's open the sunshade on the big panoramic sunroof. But there's a lot of space back here. I mean, that's where my knee hits. It's almost a whole hand. More of that ambient lighting. There are shades that go up over the windows, and they're controlled via the window switches. And then there's your regular window. Sounds pretty nice. Then on the back of the center console here, you've got two USB-C ports. USB-C is used throughout the whole vehicle, which is really great, kind of future-proofs it. And then some HVAC controls. I guess dual zone back here, so 4-zone HVAC here in the GLE 63. Fold down armrest, 2 cup holders. They're nice and simple. We love that. And that's about it. There are heated seats back here. I think that covers it. All right, driving around now. Let's quickly demonstrate launch control, or what is kind of a launch control. I watched some YouTube videos on this, and people say it's kind of hard to access it, but you push the brake with your left foot all the way down until the dashboard says hold, which that's what we've got right now, and then right foot on the gas up to 2250 RPM. It's just unbelievably fast. It takes off so quickly. And I said this in my previous reviews of these top tier AMG models. It's like your brain and your eyeballs stay in place and your body moves forward. For a split second, it's like your visual system can't catch up or can't keep up with how quickly everything else is moving. And there's a moment, it's not real comfortable. Doesn't feel great. But there's a moment there where the car is just rocketing forward so quickly and aggressively that like your whole brain and everything just can't keep up. It's crazy. When you buy an AMG GLE 63S like this, you're paying for a lot of performance, and there aren't too many places where it's appropriate to use this amount of performance. That launch control bit back there, I tried it like 3 or 4 times, but kept having to try it again because cars would come up and people would be around, and I didn't want to like terrorize my community with this car. To my point, it's hard to find a time and a place to play with this stuff or to use this stuff outside of a racetrack, and I don't know who's buying one of these to go to the racetrack. Doesn't mean I don't love this car though. Why are we still in manual mode? I don't know why we're in manual mode. That's why we're in manual mode, because the car was set to manual mode. 8-speed automatic. It has a wet clutch, from what I understand. I'm not certain what that is, but it's not like a torque converter. It's a wet clutch, so I think it shifts faster and more aggressively when you have a clutch involved. And yeah, it shifts quickly and aggressively. You get some crackling on the downshift out of the exhaust. There, I just set it to powerful. It is nice to have an adjustable exhaust, because it's not always appropriate to have a loud exhaust. Like driving through my neighborhood, I don't want to be the idiot driving through my neighborhood with a super loud car. There are enough of those people, so it's nice to have the exhaust set to quiet. And hey, the car just set to comfort mode. That's really where you should probably be, or expect to be, doing most of your driving. But Sport is fun. Sport Plus is where it sets the exhaust to its powerful setting, or just call it loud mode. Third, geez, yeah, there's just a really rumbled, crackled, there's just a really loud whooshing sound. Come on, it's a green light. Turn yellow. Nope, not gonna do it. This, yeah, did you hear that? So we can do it again. Yeah, like when you downshift it like 3,500, it crackles. Let's get to 4,000. Yeah. So you go into third, get it up to about 4,000 RPM, and then you downshift. That's how you make it to the loudest popping and crackling noises. There's just nowhere where this kind of driving is really appropriate. I'm very insecure right now. I put about 100, I don't know, 100, it's hard to say because I've been driving maybe somewhat aggressively, so the fuel range has gone way down. I've put, I think, like 100-ish, 125 miles on this. I hope to put more on it, but it's really nice to live with. It's best in its comfort setting, and like I said, the carbon ceramic brakes, the $5,000 carbon ceramic brakes, are really, really grabby. Given what it costs to replace them and just how sensitive they are, I would not choose the carbon ceramic brake option. It's cool to have it, but probably not appropriate on an around town daily driver like this car is meant to be. But in comfort mode, it's really nice. Sport mode's fun. If you're on a twisty road, go to Sport mode or Sport Plus. I don't know why you need race, but you've got it if you want it. Just tons of configurability to this. I like this interior color. It's pretty calm. Like I said, any lighter, it's even maybe a little light as it is, but I definitely wouldn't want anything lighter than this. There are already some marks on it, but it still makes the cabin a really nice place. It's a really open and airy cabin with the panoramic sunroof open. So yeah, that's the 2024 facelifted Mercedes AMG GLE 63S. This is easily one of my favorite cars, even if its best attributes are not at all appropriate for use on public roads. Maybe on the highway, but beyond that, you kind of have to put a leash on it. But overall, just fabulous execution. I think this is why I really like this car. It's a Mercedes-Benz. It's nice, yeah, all that stuff. I'm not real into image or appearances, but it certainly looks sophisticated and upscale. It's even a little bit subtle though, when you compare it to some of its competitors. It's not quite a Porsche. It's not a Bentley. It's not a Rolls-Royce. It's not an Aston Martin. It's still relatively subtle when you consider where its performance places it. But all that aside though, the other reason why I really love this, just the interior and everything is executed fabulously. It's like flawless. The usability and the infotainment and everything is just so good. And that doesn't necessarily go hand in hand with the price that you pay. You pay a ton of money for, say, a Lexus product, but their previous infotainment system and even their current one were not very good. You pay not a lot of money for, say, a Volkswagen. That's maybe not a good example. Volkswagen used to have good infotainment. You pay not a lot of money for a Hyundai Kia product, and that has a really good infotainment system. The Mercedes-Benz here has a really good infotainment system, and that doesn't necessarily correlate with the amount of money you spend. It just so happens Mercedes did a really, really good job there as well. So I will try to stop rambling now. Go watch the video I did on the 2021 version of this car. It's really good. This one, I guess, just serves to confirm that this is still a really good car. Thank you for watching.